that will specifically require applied research and basic research. So to start with,
so there are two types of research, applied research and basic research, which is our focus for today. So when we talk about applied research, according to the author, it's used to answer a specific question that has a direct applications to the world. That's why it's known as applied. There should be a direct application, and it is designed to solve problems, practical problems of the modern world. And it also aims to set a specific set of circumstances. So there are problems in the classroom or wherever be that will resort to a particular situation then, and it has to have a use of data for real world application.
now for basic research, all right, for basic research, which is like most common that we always gonna use, is that basic research expand our knowledge. So it's kind of actually gathering data for our purpose of knowing something. All right, so it is driven purely by curiosity and desire to expand knowledge. So it's actually like what you really wanted to know. It's not aimed at solving something, but it's just for information.
So there are two, we take a look at the differences between applied and basic research, and we found out that they are based on purpose, context, and methods. So for applied research, it has to be the solution of a specific problem. Where in the basic research, you just have the creation of a new knowledge, a new thing that you learn, or it can be just expansion of that current knowledge without any concerns of applicability. In terms of context, research objectives are set by clients or sponsors as a solution to a specific problem. But in basic research, it's just self-initiated. You can just like a quick question of what it's all about in order to expand maybe the levels of knowledge we have. In terms of methods, which our previous presenter presented about the internal validity of the research. So more in applied research, this is how the research finding match into reality, whereas the basic research is just to the extent to which the research finding can be replicated. So it's kind of basic questions. We're gonna give you
some applications in our real workplace because that's our question. So in what ways have we done or will be doing basic research or applied research? So both of us has actually participated in this type of research. So the first one was the use of information and communication technology or ICT tools to facilitate scientific skills and new literacies. So this was initiated by NYIT. Okay, so this was a 5-year study on the effect of the use of ICT tools in the science classroom, where 40 teachers, among those are the two of us and Marvin, from Queens, New York City Middle School. Okay, and all right, so with this actually, next slide, right? So here's some of those who participated, where the findings was very favorable and that they knew that ICTs really help the kids learn better in science, especially in this recent era that they are on technology-driven learning. Now the second one is the SMILE project, which was presented in the ERIC. So again, me, Rosalinda, Marvin joined this. So it came from SMILE, which is Stanford Mobile Inquiry-Based Learning Environment, is applied because this person from Stanford actually formulated this program, and it's being tested on the field. So it's kind of applied because they want to see whether it's effective or not. All right, so this model. So it is a technology developed tool to support student learning through student-generated questioning. So we're trying that what if students will generate their own question and ask that to other students, would that as well go back to them as them learning better, okay? And here's the site, okay, where they go to. And the third one is, we showed some examples of student, questioning, right? And, if you are in the group, one student asks a question, all the members in the group could answer. And if you got it, it will tell you that you got the right answer. If not, it will tell you not, okay? And, all right, so there, it's an applied research to test. I said that already, okay. All right, so another example.
So for the citizen science project, I also participated with this, as well as Ma'am Vivian. Is actually the study of macroinvertebrates. This was a scientific research based on the effect of abiotic factors on the population of macroinvertebrates. So we did actually a field trip, and the students were able to gather data over there and store the data on the website for further study and analysis. So this is kind of in between the basic to applied, since it's still not done, it's still ongoing process with that. And there's actually a paper. There was actually a paper attached to that also. So it is a basic research because it's just a survey method, but there is also a data collected to that. So, however, the results that were inputted in the website data bank is a tool for further applied research. Okay, and this one is actually a real study in my classroom. I did a 1-month study just because we're told to have a classroom study, like basic study in the classroom, what we can do. So I did study the effect of modified FIRE model strategy to develop academic vocabulary. So the question is, how does using the modified FIRE model affect the students' vocabulary development? So this is the research. I did pre-test and post-test, and there is also shows an increase. So I created a graph actually. So there are pre-test questions first, and then post-test, and I made a increase and look at the increase, and then create a graph out of it. So the other one is actually a very low class, while the other one is an honors class, and I say that their increase is somewhat similar. So the findings and conclusions in an apply is that the quality of work, the FRI model increased as under given a guide checklist and vocabulary words. With this, in the study in the classroom is actually very effective. It became a basic to applied research because you're able to develop your own methods of gathering data and taking a look and reflect it. So as a teacher, it's very nice way. So there are a lot of research still.
So furthermore, right, so these are examples of applied research that one could do, all right? So for example, very basic, how can bullying be prevented, all right? So the solutions that we're gonna come up with if you're gonna do that is applied. There is a search for solution, okay? Another one, how can the achievement gap of students from very socio-economic background be bridged in education? Again, the result could be a recommendation to improve this situation. So another one, is technology used for children helpful or harmful? So then, again, it's applied. Okay, using the technology and get the result of it, it's an applied research. Now, the last one, are children of working mothers at any long-term disadvantage as opposed to children of stay-at-home mothers? So these are examples of applied research.
So there are a lot of problems actually. There are a lot of, as a teacher can reflect, there are a lot actually of research research problem that we can actually use in the classroom. So in conclusion, we come up to this conclusion that as teaching and learning continues, whether it is basic or applied, there are a lot of instances where knowledge and application of these two types of research are very useful in our classroom setting. Not only to improve instruction, increase collaboration and quality of work, but also make us reflective teacher, both in action and on action. And that's how important this research is, whether it's basic or applied.
All right, so Do you have any question?
Question. What type of research is more applicable to teachers?
Okay, so as we just had mentioned, we cannot discredit one or favor one because it has different purposes. So it depends on what purpose you are researching to. If you want to find out more information, go for basic. And it's going to be helpful not for you as only, but some people that are going to benefit from your research will move on to making or doing an applied research. Now, applied research are usually sponsored because they are looking for solution. So if you want a high-paying research, you could do applied research. Nevertheless, don't discredit basic research because it is more meaningful because most basic research are personal. So you want fulfillment in your work. Okay?
And in addition to that, also because of that study in the classroom, I was able to share that Fry model, and everyone in our school are actually using that model and doing more of it. It's not only about giving that, but playing Jeopardy. So vocabulary development as part of your content now become part of our school goals. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Break.
Who's the next question?
Kami.